Well, this is Political Paradigm on Channels Television. Welcome. I'm Terry Ikumi. Last week, I had a chat with the Israeli ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Michael Freeman, on the ongoing conflict involving Israel, the United States, and Iran. I had extended an invitation to the Embassy of Iran for a balanced conversation, but there was no response at the time. We've now received a response, and the embassy has declined an interview at this time, stating that interviews have already been granted and a press statement has been released. Well, here are some excerpts from that press release. As received from the Iranian embassy, it reads in parts, the Islamic Republic of Iran has been subjected to a deliberate and premeditated military aggression by the United States of America and the Israeli regime, an act that constitutes a blatant violation of fundamental principles of international law and the Charter of the United Nations. Let me be absolutely clear, what has been done against Iran is not merely a military operation. It is a flagrant violation of Article 2, Paragraph 4 of the UN Charter, which explicitly prohibits the use of force against the territorial integrity and political sovereignty of any state. This act, according to that statement, represents a direct assault on Iran's national sovereignty and territorial integrity and a serious breach of international law. End of quote. Now, when I raised this with the Israeli ambassador, he cited Article 51, which gives nations the right to defend themselves. The Israeli ambassador, Michael Freeman, went on to say that the leadership of Iran had threatened repeatedly the Israeli regime and its actions warranted a defense. Now, back to the statement from the ambassador of Iran. He said it is crucial to note the timing of this aggression. At the time these attacks occurred, Iran was actively engaged in diplomatic negotiations with the United States. In fact, according to him, Iran had returned to the negotiating table for the second time, acting in good faith to resolve issues through diplomacy. Yet once again, the United States chose to carry out a military attack in the midst of an ongoing diplomatic process. The ambassador of Israel, on his part, said all diplomatic efforts had failed because Iran was not truthful about its nuclear program, which it claims is for energy purposes only, and had denied international monitors access to its nuclear facility. Iran insists, however, that its defensive measures are exercised strictly within its legal and rightful framework in accordance with Article 51 of the UN Charter and has the inherent and legitimate right to defend itself against armed aggression. Iran's statement concludes by saying the Iranian people will not submit to aggression. Well, you can catch the interview with the Israeli ambassador on YouTube. Well, let's move on to our first discussion of the day. I'm joined by a member of the House of Representatives who is the chairman of the House Committee on Customs, Honorable Leke Abejide, to discuss developments within the African Democratic Congress, ADC. Welcome to Political Paradigm, Honorable.
Thank you for having me.
I think in recent times, every time you get an invitation to an interview, it's based on controversy around your party. And I think
I've been declining so many invitations.
It worries you, doesn't it, that your party is embroiled in this kind of crisis as we're going to an election year?
Well, it's normal in politics. Politics, because it determines who gets what, how, and when. So everybody tends to struggle for it, and even it's normal. Even in the APC, everybody is struggling to get his own. So our party was very quiet before the issue of coalition came. And since the coalition started, we have been having issues. We have two ADC now. We have the coalition ADC, and we have the original ADC. So these are the two people now in court, you know, that are plethora of cases in court. We don't know how it's going to end.
I'm hoping not to end in court as well. So just to avoid a lawsuit, I want to ask you, because I know that I don't want to be sued. I don't want you suing Channels TV either. I know that the ADC had expelled you from the party. That's the other part of the faction that you talk about. So that's fine. But I want to ask you, how do I address you? Still as a member of the ADC?
To where do I belong? I'm the only elected member. Anybody you see in ADC today, maybe they came just recently, either in the House of Representatives or in the Senate. They were not elected on the platform. They were elected on different platforms. So it is just maybe just last week or 2 weeks ago that some people came and it's decamped to ADC. So I have always been elected on this party. I've never tried any election apart from on any other platform apart from ADC, and I have remained in ADC. I've never decamped. So the issue of maybe expulsion or whatever, nobody expelled me. My national chairman is still there, and all our party executives.
No, I'm talking about the David Mark faction.
No, David Mark is not a member of a party.
Well, whose name?
Coalition ADC, not.
What's the name on INEC's website?
Well, that's why I said when court decides,
yes,
we'll be able to know who owns the party, whether we are on the wrong side of the law or they're on the wrong side of the law.
But you had also...
Let me tell you, maybe you are in the media, and it appears you people don't do investigative journalism very well. Sorry to say, because, you know, before you can join a political party or hold any office in that party, you must first of all register in your ward. As at the time Chibra Vongo stood up from that chair and asked David Mark to sit on that chair, David Mark was not a registered member of ADC in his ward.
How do you know that?
It is after all their coalition, most of them went on to do the...
No, you're specific.
It was in the media too.
But you were specific about David Mark.
Not only him, all of them.
I'm talking about the leadership.
I'm talking
I understand that the likes of...
He's just the national chairman of the coalition.
But that's the leadership that you're challenging. I'm talking about the recent defections and registrations we saw were from the likes of Atiku, Obi, and Amechi.
And even the article you just mentioned, you also know it's not been long. He went to register in his ward. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
That's what happened to all of them.
But he's not part of the leadership, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah. It's not part
so the argument is that he's not part of the leadership is different from the people who are aspiring within the party. So I specifically mentioned the
I don't want to
dwell
too much on it because I told you there are electoral cases in courts.
Yeah. But why are you not in court?
I'm in court.
Because you had said you would challenge your expulsion.
I'm in court.
Specifically your expulsion.
Of course. No. I don't need to challenge. Somebody who does not have the local standard cannot expel me from my party. Are you aware now that there are some people in court against ADC to be deregistered?
What do you think about it?
Okay. Do you know who they are using to defend their case? Because they said ADC did not win any election.
They're using you.
They are not using me to defend their case. This is the person they said they have suspended. It's me now, they are not using.
But at the time, that was at the time. Your suspension was based on...
No. I'm talking of recent.
No, I mean that the election they're referring to was the 2023 election at the time.
Yeah.
And you were suspended subsequently for anti-party.
So if you suspend it, you cannot use me to defend your case in the court.
Where do you stand on that suit? Do you think that the ADC should be registered on that basis?
No. Well, I'm not court. Court knows better.
What is your party? You think your party should be deregistered?
ADC won election.
Yes.
I didn't come as a member of House of Representatives alone. We were two. Myself, Right Honorable Leka Bejide, and Honorable Salman Idris from Kogi State. And we had, because he has equally become two, State Assembly member. So ADC actually won election in 2019 and 2023. So, to be in fairness to the party actually won election.
There's a recent court judgment on the suit challenging the leadership of the party, which we had mentioned earlier. And the court had ordered that status quo be maintained. Now, the ADC... So I want to get your interpretation of what that appeal court judgment is, because the ADC leadership under David Mark says that it means that the current state of affairs within the party should remain unchanged pending the determination of the substantive suit. That there's a difference between status quo and status quo antebellum. And the court was clear on maintaining status quo, which is what this faction, as you claim, is dependent on.
Okay. I think the status quo, not even think, what the status quo means is that before they came, the person who took them to court is claiming to be the national chairman of the party. That is Honorable Bala Nafi Gombe. When all other NWC members resigned, he refused to resign. And he went to court that when Nwosu resigned, he's supposed to be the national chairman of the party. And he went to court, also telling the court that our constitution says you must be 2 years without any waiver in the party before you can hold national office, and 1 year before you can hold states of party office positions. And he was challenging all this and said that you cannot join a party one day and that same day you become the national chairman. So these are his prayers. And the coalition people went to Court of Appeal to challenge. I think there's a statement from Federal High Court that this is so cause why this should not be sustained. And they went to Court of Appeal for the Court of Appeal to stop them, to stop the Federal High Court from asking them to show cause on this. And the Court of Appeal sent them back to go and show cause. Why must you be in a party in 1 day and become national chairman or national secretary? And then work against your own constitution, because it's a constitutional matter. It's not an internal party affairs. That this is a constitutional matter. Go and answer to the query. The status quo they are talking about is that Bala Gombe is the national chairman since Nwosu resigned. So that is the status quo. Now that is what the man in Bala Gombe is fighting for. See, he is the national chairman. And now they are back to Federal High Court. Let's see what the judgment will be.
Okay. I was going to question if that status really existed for it to be called a status quo following Ralph Nwosu's resignation. But let's leave that for the courts to decide. Let me ask you a question. The ADC has announced its convention for conventions from world level from the 7th to the 14th of April.
No, that's the coalition.
That's the one I'm asking. I want to get your thoughts on it.
No, that's not the ADC. That's coalition.
It doesn't. You don't think?
No. That one is not authentic. You don't believe in this one.
But throw your weight. I'll compare your weight and that of this coalition, because you see the strength of this coalition now that you're dismissing.
Which strength? Where is the strength?
There are now 9 new senators and about 15 members of the House of Reps.
Of course, because those people are displaced politicians. There is no way they cannot go to APC. And they see maybe their senior brothers and senior sisters are in the ADC coalition. So there's nowhere to go than to come and join them.
But isn't that politics?
Yeah, it's politics.
Because I know in December, when you were speaking with my colleague Kayla, you said that the strength of this ADC against the APC administration does not exist because they don't have elected officials. Now they have elected officials.
How many elected officials?
We're counting. You said they had none. I'm saying now they have 9 senators.
No, I didn't say they have none. I was there.
You said none.
I was there. I didn't say none.
I mean, apart from you.
I was the only one.
Yeah, apart from you. You said they didn't have any strength
yes.
because they didn't have elected officials.
Okay, let's see how many from the states.
There are quite a number. I mean, look at what happened with Sokoto for starters. Look at...
how many in Sokoto states?
The numbers are growing, Honorable. You know that.
No, I'm talking of states.
State Assembly members moved with Tambuwa. You know that as well.
How many of them?
Let's not go into the numbers. The numbers are not gigantic, but they count for something, don't they?
You see, Terry, you see, every politics is local. And I have advised them. If you are looking up, you don't look down, you will fall. Their attention is on the presidency rather than building a solid party from the grassroots. How do you think I'm winning my election? I look at the structures that they are the people. I went down to the people myself. Make my structure from the ward level to the local government level to make sure they're solid. So if we say we are looking for the presidency, who are we going to use at the grassroots that is going to do this work? You can only remain in your polling unit on that day now. Even though you are the president, you can't go beyond your polling unit. So who are the people that you have groomed that we remain? People are looking at the APC, APC is just collecting state, they are just showing governor. APC has people at the polling unit level, at the ward level, at the local government level, at the state level. Even in every homes. I don't know how you want to fight such a big party with big structure.
The people who have kicked you out.
Who?
The people who have kicked you out of the ADC.
Who kicked me out?
Claim to have structures. These are people who.
Don't let us go there. They cannot do anything with the landlord except I want to leave myself.
So why haven't you left? Because
I'm not going to leave because I need to fight the injustice.
So I think
for you to come to my house and trying to displace me in my house, I need to fight it to the end.
One of the reasons why you were even kicked out of the party is
why are you
because you
it's better you look for another word to use. Nobody can kick me out of the party.
You're openly supporting an APC government, and here comes an ADC coalition that wants to take out an APC government. Why do you think they would want to work with someone like you?
Well, if you say supporting which APC am I supporting? I'm supporting the president.
Yes.
So what is wrong in it? Governor Soludo, Chukma Soludo, is he not supporting the president? Is he not in Abga? Even Alex Oti of Abia State, is he not supporting the president? Is he from APC? Is he not a Labour? So what is wrong? And I'm not new to the president. I have been with the president a long time ago. I don't hide it.
Fair enough.
You understand? And again, if he's not doing well, I will not support him. But tell me, those who want to take him out of the place, what is their own agenda? What is it they want to do better? Do they want to come and make sure that each state can not pay salaries of the workers? Why do you think all governors are happy to join this president? Because number one, they're no more borrowing money to pay their civil servants in their states. They have enough to do infrastructures. No governor today in any party that will not support this president because they knew what their predecessors passed through. I'm very close to, I have many friends who have governors, former governors. I knew what they passed through. To pay salary was difficult for them. About almost 30 states could not pay salary easily.
Is that all there is to governance, payment of salaries?
But are they going to say that when we come, we are going to restore the subsidy, then we'll go back to fuel scarcity and then queue on in every street in Nigeria? Are they going to say that when we come, we will now make sure only a few people will go to CBN, get dollars, sell it, and become trillionaire overnight? Is that what they are going to say? Are they going to say that all the children now that the children of less privilege who cannot pay their school fees in the universities, who have access to fund now, and then they have fund that they are using to take them to without recourse to their parents, are they going to say that, okay, we're going to remove it so that people will start suffering? Student, I want to tell you, students will be the agent of APC in this coming election because they're the greatest beneficiaries. My road in Kogi State is the worst road in Nigeria, especially Kogi West, where I come from. From Kaba to Egbe, a journey of like 45 minutes will take you 5 hours. Now, and also from Kaba to Mokwekiti, a journey of like say 30 minutes will take you 4 hours. I move a motion, try to bring the attention of the federal government to it. The president immediately gave the minister a marching order. What do you want again? We want a listening president like this. And I'm sure it's not by mouthing it they will take action on those frauds. And this is what our people need. You see the vote we are going to bring in Kogi State. It will suppress so many. Maybe we will come first in all the state 36
You know,
states.
anyone listening to you would say that you're justified in your decision to support the president. I want to ask you something which a lot of Nigerians have raised, that apart from the president trying to capture all the states, which they say is turning the country
It's
into
not
a one.
capturing the state. It is the state that are looking for. I just
It's
gave you an
political
example.
capture.
If you are governor
However,
of those states today, I believe the same day they elect you, if it's not on the platform APC, you will join the president. It's not the party. Election is not about party. It's about the personality involved.
so here's the argument.
If this president is not the candidate of APC, forget it.
Here's the argument as far as this administration is concerned. While you point to some of the successes of the administration, which you believe would make people, Nigerians vote for him, and why governors are joining, some say it's state capture. Some say that this administration fears free, fair, credible elections, and that's what has come up with the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, which we will talk about briefly. But also, there's the aspect of the judiciary. Now, questions are being raised about capturing the integrity of the judiciary, especially with the recent houses built for judges in the FCT. Do you think that that is justified?
The whalers, they are the one that is scared of free and fair election. They want to use, you know, that section 60, subsection 3, you know, because the whalers want only one way, so that they are going to maybe manipulate all the electronic gadgets so that they can just be sending like text message with their result in, and then they say they have won. See, there is no, I have participated in elections. The main thing is that from ECAT, that you can rely upon majorly. What if the electronic fail? I can be a presiding officer and tell you that, okay, I've uploaded your results. Or maybe, because I am the only one at the back end, I can say, okay, maybe if you score 40 now, I want to help you. I put another 0 and then upload it into the system. If it is only that electronic system, there is no document whereby all agents signed and saw that it was only 40 you scored, though. They will only rely on the 400 that they are posted. This electronics, you can manipulate it the way you want. Do you believe that? You can use it to do so many things. Let there be option of check and balances. Except you don't want to have agents. And except your agent compromise. Your agent's supposed to be able to fight for you and say that this is my own result and hold on to it. But if you want to just sit down, you don't want to have agent across the, just like Labour had the other time, they won election in some places, but there was no agent. So they want to just say, okay, let's just use electronics only, because they don't want to spend money to put the agent in all polling units across the country. And they say that they're lagging behind now. It's already late for them to catch up.
What about,
I want to start a race. A race. I have started, maybe it's a country race. I have started since yesterday running. And you are just preparing to run today. Can you meet me? Even though you are a jet. It is the same thing applicable to all these parties. They are only willing.
Okay.
They are not prepared for the election.
So how about the aspect of building houses for judges?
Building houses for judges, well, I'm an advocate of the judiciary being a frontline charge, so that it will not seem as if they are in the hands of the executives to be manipulated, or they are within the whims and caprices of the executives. So I believe if they put them as frontline charge, they can do that for themselves. But since they're incapacitated, do we want them to go and sleep outside?
They already sleep in their houses.
Yeah, it's good. That's what I'm saying. They will be happy to do the work better.
So let me get something clear. Do you condemn?
But before that frontline charge things happens, they cannot sleep outside.
But Honorable.
Their condition of service has to be commensurate with the service they render to the
judicial officers have repeatedly asked for frontline charge. They've asked for independence.
I have just told you that.
They've also asked for improved funding. They've never asked to have houses built for them. So I ask you now, considering...
does it mean building houses for them is a great gift?
I believe that they know that it's suggestive. That's why they never asked for houses to be built for them. So I'm asking you what your thoughts are. It's good that you say...
Who told you? Were you there in their meeting?
What meeting?
When they told them they want to build houses. I know.
I'm a journalist, Honorable. I would know.
They were all jubilating that they wanted them to build houses for them. They didn't say they don't want.
They didn't ask for it. That's what I'm saying.
Must you ask before you...
but you just started off this conversation by saying that it would be best,
it's the best
to put them in the frontline charge than to build houses for them.
Me, I'm in support of them being in the frontline charge, so that it will not be as if their life depends on the executive to survive. It's not only in the federal, it happens in the state. So I want to advocate that even at the state level, this will be at the frontline charge, so that the governors cannot... I saw some retired judges. I was sorry for them because the condition I saw them, it was not.
You know, anyone would ask why that arm of government, and the reason is that there are 3 arms of government, and do we start building houses for every legislator that comes in now?
What?
Good. All right. Let's move on to something else. Let's talk quickly just before we go about dual party membership. Your colleagues have passed the amendment bill. And it's interesting that this is coming after the president had signed the Electoral Act amendment bill. It's almost like a second thought. And the question is, why has this come up where the National Assembly has said that if you belong to if you're registered in 2 parties, you would not be recognized as any, and you'll be liable, you'll not be recognized to be in any of the parties. You'll be put, you could go to jail upon conviction for 10 years, or you could pay a fine of 2 years, 10 million or 2 years. So several arguments from your colleagues pointed to the fact that they could be set up by another party by registering them in another party. Remember, it's e-registration now, and we see some of the discrepancies online, like and it's questionable. Like the ADC zone.
Obama is there.
Clearly.
But then again, a member of the coalition.
Yes, but a member of the House of Representatives stood up to say that he was given an APC card even though he is a member of the PDP.
That was given a member a card.
A card. He was registered. I'm saying that he said he was registered.
A card is different from being registered. You can have card and not registered. You got it. So giving him card does not mean he's registered with that party.
So my point is,
better to me, maybe it's another way of checkmating people who will run from one party after losing the primary and go to another one.
Very well then.
So I think that's a way of checking.
Very well then. Honorable Leke Abejide, thank you for your time on Political Paradigm.
Thank you for having me.
I've been speaking with Honorable Leke Abejide. He's the chairman of the House Committee on Customs, and he's a member of the ADC, who he was expelled by a faction, but he insists that he's a legitimate member of the ADC, and the other faction is the false one. We'll come back shortly and continue the conversation, but this time with another opposition member. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Political Paradigm. Let's switch our conversation now to yet another opposition party, the Social Democratic Party. And I'm joined by the 2023 presidential candidate of the SDP, Prince Adewale Adebayo. Welcome to Political Paradigm.
Good to see you, Terry. And God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria indeed. You're all over the place now. I mean, this is just a march, but you're all over the place. You're moving. I don't know how many presidential aspirants have openly declared. I see a poster of you already saying you want to be president again in 2027. under the SDP. Let me even applaud you or congratulate you on solving the issues within the SDP to emerge. But how does it feel to want to go into this election again, considering the lessons from the previous election?
Well, you see, it's a journey of a nation. And we are not doing these things for ourselves. We're doing it once you try, and you see certain shortcomings, you immediately try to fix them. You also communicate them to your fellow compatriots that they need to fix those problems, and you try again. The idea is that there's no time in the history of Nigeria that we will have solved the problem of democracy. It's a going concern all the time. You could see even the advanced ones like America, many of the European democracies, they're always maintaining it. So it's, of course, when you do it well, your democracy becomes a low-maintenance democracy. Ours is a high-maintenance democracy because we're doing more against democracy than we're doing for democracy. So the idea is to have more people who are committed to building democracy. And I started quite early. You know, I joined the SDP when I was 19 years old. I joined in 1991, and I've remained in the party. So my first contributions, they didn't exceed going to Jack Onde's house in Bishop Street in Ilupeju, taking posters, pasting them all over Lagos, attending meetings, and making sure that we carry out whatever instructions we were given. Then gradually, now to the point where I ran for president in that party. So, and once my times are over, other people will also come and continue it. So, 100 years from now, I pray to God there will be Nigeria, there will be Channels TV, and someone will come to this studio 100 years from now and say, I'm running for president under SDP. So that is the continuity that you have in a democracy, and that's how you do it.
Great. What is the difference between the SDP of 2023 and the SDP of now that's fueling your confidence to run on the same platform?
What is that? The arguments, we lost the election, but we won the argument. And the issues are still live. And that's the important thing, because in politics, the most important thing are the set of ideas and principles around which we want to organize ourselves. The SDP follows the same principles, the same ideology, the same direction, the same commitment to the Constitution, particularly Chapter 2 of the Constitution, fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy. But what I said previously, and I'm going to present it more directly, is that the population has changed. The environment has changed. This is what has changed between now and 2023, is that the citizens of Nigeria have become aware that nothing good will come out of APC or PDP, and that we need to make a break. The challenge we faced in 2023 was a challenge that people still thought that those who had many years, who had clocked many hours and many centuries or decades in government, and who it looks like they will have had more experience in governance, will be the better people than new people like us to govern. And that has been decisively debunked. That's what has changed in the environment.
Okay.
The thing that has improved in the SDP is that we've had more time to plan. We've also broadened our membership. We've also revived many of our chapters, and we have learned lessons, logistical and organizational lessons about electioneering. So it is not just on the assumption that if you make a good case, if you win the debates, if you do better than any other person in the presentation of your manifesto, that people would automatically come to vote for you. That you need to have organizations on the ground that are operating in local areas and driving people to vote. We didn't pay attention to that before. We also didn't think that you needed any money at all in politics. We just thought, what do you need money for? We're all mostly volunteers in the SDP. And so we're doing many activities just with volunteers. There was still limitations. We didn't even have accounts. We refused to open accounts. People said, open an account so I can donate to you. We said, don't donate, just go and vote. Leave us out of this. We didn't want to bother ourselves with issue of money and all of that. Now we are allowing people, we are still maintaining the fact that we can't do money politics, but we are allowing local branches to raise funds legitimately, ethically. If they raise it wrongly, we will sanction them and dismiss them, but to at least be more, to get people more engaged and to do many activities. That's why you see us now. We are all over the country doing many activities that we were not doing 4 years ago. We are engaging more people, and we are seeing that our membership has grown like 1,000% in a short while, just by engaging people and becoming involved with them.
Yeah, great. Many would question this growth that you speak about. The reason is, I know that one time the SDP was an option for the coalition.
Yes.
And many said that that would have given the SDP the ADC status that it has now. And then when you look at the defections of politicians, you see that they go more to the ADC and the APC. It's now ADC positioning itself as Nigeria's main opposition party. Now, you may dismiss that and say that politicians move left, right, and center. But I've just come off a conversation with Honorable Leke Abidje, who is a member of the House of Representatives, and his insistence is that politics is local. So if you don't have representatives at certain levels, you cannot win elections on a large scale. That's one. And the second thing is, I recall speaking with Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, and I questioned whether the goal was to win the presidential election and ignore the smaller elections. And then I cited the example of the FCT elections that just held and the other council elections that held perhaps in the last 1 year or two. So when you look at all these, as far as political structure and growth is concerned, would you say that the SDP has really grown?
Okay, thank you. Now, we don't have the same objectives as these other parties. Many of the people who are in the ADC now, most of them, as you recall, and as you mentioned here, they were coming to the SDP. But the SDP, we always look beyond winning an election. We look towards governance. There are certain people from experience in Nigeria who believe they have no business being in government again because they've had decades of poor public service. They have decades of bad records and misbehavior. And the SDP government has to be different. It has to be a fundamental departure from the mess the country has been in at least since 1999. And there is no reason to just get people to come to your side who have bad records, who don't want to change. To have a bad record is one thing, but there is no redemption without repentance. And you are still using the bad methods, you still believe in it, you still don't want to give accountability. So for us, we wish them well in whatever they do, but we have a minimum standard for you participating in the SDP. Because ultimately, we don't want to be like the APC, which came in 2014 and 2015 shouting change, change, change. And when they came, it was a change for the worse. So if I see that I cannot work with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, despite many opportunities to work with him, because we don't share the same principles, we don't agree with the ethical framework for governance, we don't agree with many things. If I see people who are worse in that spectrum, and they now want to come to my party, I will say, okay, we know you to be like this. Why do you want to join us now? If you still don't get the point that we're trying to change the country, we will say, go and do your politics elsewhere, because we do not want to pollute the message. And in any case, a proper growth in the community for a party that wants a paradigm shift is to bring new people who want to do paradigm shift. That was why in 1993, we had Olufalaye, who has served as Minister of Finance and Secretary of Government. We had Yaradua, who has served as the #2 Citizenship of Defense Staff. We had many people, Adabishi Roma, who has served as CBN Governor. The SDP went for MK Abiola, who had never been a councillor, a commissioner, who has never served before, but whose life principles, whose ability to carry everyone along agreed with the principle of the SDP, and who wholeheartedly had demonstrated, even as a private business person, that you needed to invest in human capital, and he was doing a lot of good works, and we thought this would be good. And he became the candidate and won, and beat other people who had been in government before. The same way we are doing now. So the speciation, the typology of our politics is different. So many of the governors going to the APC, I'm happy that they are going there because they look alike. Like must go where likes are. Those who are going to the ADC, I like them. Let them go there because they are at home there. They will use the same method, the same practice, the same. But those who are coming to the SDP are people with clean records. People can say their mind. They are not afraid that tomorrow somebody is going to arrest them and charge them for fraud or anything because they know my books are clean. Those who are coming to politics not as a career, but to make a change. So, and we are growing in large numbers. And let me tell you, sir, the type that you see in these other political parties, there is minority. Majority of Nigerians are professionals, good artisans, leaders in their communities, whose only little problem is that they didn't think that they could stomach politics. They thought that politics would tarnish their image, politics would destroy their character, politics will waste their investment and time, and that they will be associated with cheating, trickery, crisis, and scandal. So what we decided to do was to let the SCB be a safe haven for such people. So if you are a good journalist, you have a good reputation, but you are afraid, if I go to politics now, I'm ruined. You can come to the SDP. It won't happen to you because you will see fellow patriots with clean records who are patriotic, who are not desperate. So those are the things we're trying to do, and that's why we don't miss those people and wish them well. Not that we assume that we are the only good Nigerians, but we are very selective because of the fact that we are trying to change from the status quo.
Yeah, you at one point were open to receiving the likes of Atiku and co into the SDP, if I recall correctly. But I want to build my next question on that. We know you do not want the President Bola Tinubu to return in 2027. We know that you want to be president in 2027. But for that to happen to a great extent, there needs to be some form of coalition or merger. When you look beyond the APC, do you see the possibility of a coalition based on the records of these other strong political figures who want to run for office? Because we see these strong political figures creating an opposition which is gaining momentum. Do you see the SDP going into a coalition with any of these other parties? Because we know what happened in 2023, where opposition numbers were greater than the numbers that the president won with at the time.
You see, the point I'm making is that even in 1979, with Shagari becoming president, the opposition numbers were greater than that of Shagari. Shagari of the MPN narrowly beat Awolowo of the UPN. And then you still had the GMPP, the MPP, the PRP. So that's not the problem. The problem is that politics is done for the people. And you must ensure that if you are the one who wins the election, the people get something out of it. And you work with those who will make sure that the people get something in terms of good governance out of the victory, that the victory is not for the politicians alone. Now, you mentioned former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and a number of people. the SDP was open to broadening membership and letting people come in, but we must subscribe to the same principles that are foundational to the party. And what went wrong was that people were not, in our view, even capable of understanding these principles. So we thought, why do we need to have people inside our party who don't believe in the party, who just need a platform, any machinery, whatever, just to go and fight the next election? And then we say, okay, all right, if you don't subscribe to this, good luck. Now, it doesn't mean that we are not in coalition. We are in coalition with other political parties who are aligning, who believe that we need to make social investment, we don't need to sell off all public institutions, and we don't need to allow politicians to also be the businessmen in the economy. We need to ensure that the public services work and that government delivers services to the people.
Right.
So now these coalitions are going on, but what I want you to understand, and maybe it will help your colleagues, because I like the way you are putting your own question. A coalition of politicians is not what is going to defeat Tinubu, because he has more of that already. A coalition of Nigerian people, that is to say, if you see the groupings of Nigerians, they are all lamenting in their various places, but they have not agreed to come under one political party. So each person is lamenting in his own way. Professionals, farmers, all these people. So those are the people we are forming coalition with. To say, okay, whatever, if you are so concerned about Nigeria and you are in your corner, the other person is also concerned, bury all your arguments. Let's come under the same principle. Let us now not be looking for a messiah. You will see what happens in the media. And I see many morning shows and evening shows, they will put pictures of individuals and say, like wrestling match, WWE, they will say, can Mr. A beat Mr. B? Mr. A and Mr. B beat each other, doesn't do anything for anybody. What we are doing is to say, can we have robust consensus across Nigeria about the purpose and nature of government and the objective of what government should be? One. Two, can we have a minimum requirement of what you need to be in your community before you can vie for any office, before you can lead a political party? Shouldn't you have some basic qualification and record in the community? Shouldn't you have some ethical barrier that you must have crossed? Shouldn't you have a flaw? Yeah, those are the things which we are building consensus. That's why anywhere you see me going around, it is those things we are building consensus around. Yeah. And once we agree, leaders will emerge from all the communities. For example, by that metric, we had a meeting, and we're having another meeting in Benin City next week, where we will set a standard for you to go to National Assembly. I can tell you, 99% of those who are in National Assembly today will not return in 2027. Because now we are going across all the 109 senatorial districts and giving them the standard of what you need to be. You have to be a patriot to go to National Assembly. You need to be independent-minded. You need to be intellectually grounded. You need to be connected to the community where you come from. You can't be in National Assembly and people will send you text messages while you are sitting there and you'll be changing the law. You won't be worshiping one president where you are supposed to be the one, you are supposed to checkmate him on behalf of the people. So nobody in National Assembly today should waste their money buying forms, because we have reviewed all their work. Majority of them, 99%, don't merit to come back there. And those are the consensus frameworks that we are building across the country. It's not just about looking for politicians, friends in the media.
Everything you've said just points to informed voting. Yes. But the fear would be that we are a country that is divided along tribe and religion. I'm just saying the difficulty in attaining what you want. But in all this, I want us to look quickly at the process that will lead to the emergence of elected officials.
If you have 10 seconds to spare, I will tell you that, one, if you look at the theology of that disease, where you see that it looks like we're not having one voice as a country. And everybody's having one ethno-religious sentiment or other things that are not relevant to governance. That is why you see that only 8%, 7% come to vote. Those are the people who have that problem. Majority don't have that problem. But there's no organizing around broad principles. Because when somebody comes out and says, Emilokon, it is my turn, he says it's the turn of his tribe or whatever. When someone says, oh, you have to give me because of Igbo presidency. When someone says Muslim tickets, those are the people who have captured 7%, 8%. The rest, who believe that we need to form a government that works, we have electricity, security, education, those people don't see the options. That's why they are sitting back. And that's what the SDP is going around now to now say, now you have the option. The things that bother you, when you wake up in the morning, the things you see, when your children go to school, the things that concern you, those are the things which we are doing our politics on. So you will see the turnout. And when we go around the country, people don't ask all these ethno-religious and sentimental questions. They ask fundamental questions like, I retired from the railway service. I don't get any pension. I'm 77 years old. How do I survive? People talk about, I have a nice home in my community. I have not been there for 12 years. When am I going to go back home? I have children who are in school, and I have to sell my property to pay their school fees, and the ones I pay who have graduated haven't got any job. You can see you are in my parlor now, there's no electricity, and it never happened before. And those are the things they discuss with us, and we will build a politics that is around there, and hopefully the media will catch up, and they won't be persuaded by the sensational and headlines and the easy, lazy bylines that they write without serious analysis of how the politics has evolved.
Time really does fly when you're having a good conversation, but I have to ask you a question on the electoral process itself. Yes. I know you were among those who wanted electronic transmission of results.
And got tear gas for it.
That didn't, sorry about that, yes. That didn't scale through. But there are some other aspects of that electoral amendment bill and amendments that are raising concerns. In fact, there's a new amendment which talks about dual party membership. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Yes. So I want to get your quick thoughts on that, and then speak to this new agitation against the act as signed by the president, which provides for direct primaries and consensus and leaves out indirect membership primaries.
The overarching problem was that elections and electoral management laws are preservation and effectuation of citizenship rights. Therefore, they are not supposed to be manipulated with partisanship. What you want is a clean electoral law that tells the citizens you can vote, and the qualifications for being a voter, and the methodology for voting, and the guarantees to see that whatever you vote will be the outcome.
Yes.
So, but what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done with Senate President Godswill Akpabio and House of Representatives Speaker Abbas, Tajudeen Abbas, and many leaders of the National Assembly is to say, we are participants in the game, and we have to fix the rules. Oh, let us use the opportunity to fix the rule to favor us. And I'm not saying this scandalously. 4 days ago, when the IPAC went to the State House to honor the president who invited them for breaking of fast, iftar, the IPAC, representing all of us, spoke to the president on the need to ensure that the Electoral Act is actually for the people and that it is not manipulated to please, to suit those who are in government. The president failed his statesmanship test by saying, no, I have majority. I know you have the tape. I have majority. When I was in opposition, I suffered. Now I have majority. It's my turn to use it. That is a failure of head of state duty. That is where we have all these problems.
Yes.
So, and there are many errors, and there are many booby traps in the Electoral Act. What we are telling our people is that we must continue to emphasize those booby traps and those errors. For example, there's no reason why you cannot do electronic transmission without without putting conditionalities. 2, there's no reason why you will interfere in their internal affairs of political parties to tell them how to conduct their primaries. Every party is peculiar, and the Supreme Court has said every party has the right to govern its own affairs. Thirdly, there's no reason why you will be criminalizing freedom of association, where Section 40 of the Constitution says you can belong to any political party of your choice. So there's no reason why you will put a 21-day rule. If you don't join the party in 21 days to the election, you can't participate. If you leave your party and go to another party, and your name is still on the other party, which may not be your fault, you go to jail. All of that is not necessary. But what I want to let Nigerians know, don't let this discourage you. Under colonial government, we had elections, and we got independence. Under the military, we had elections, and you voted for Abiola, and the SDP won the election. We can vote and win under this system. We are working to see that the rules are changed, but don't lose hope. Don't say, okay, the election is over, it's lost. No, it's not. We will defeat the government, we will restore a government of your choice, and the will of the people will take place. So don't lose hope.
Very well,
Nigeria is on the rise.
Prince Adebayo, Adebayo, thank you so much for coming on Political Paradigm.
Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Well, I've been speaking with 2023 presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, Prince Adebayo. Earlier, I spoke with the chairman of the House Committee on Customs on the issues around the ADC. If you'd like to catch these conversations again, please go to YouTube and search Political Paradigm, or simply go to channelstv.com. I'm Terry Ikumi. Goodbye.